The bags had been packed for a week. Eva couldn't stop talking about the places they hadn't visited yet. Today they were about to embark on their dream trip, the trip they had always dreamed of since both Eva and her husband Jack retired.
Jack, I want to experience everything. Meetings and reports are a thing of the past. I'm in a whole new phase now,
she said excitedly as she prepared to set off. Jack, who had always been quiet and reserved, smiled and nodded, ready for what awaited them in Bali, the first stop on a new adventure after retirement. Jack and Eva arrived at Bali International Airport feeling young and excited despite their advanced age. After years of hard work and constant stress, they decided that this trip would be the beginning of a new chapter in their lives, a post-retirement life full of exploration and adventure. They got into the car that would take them to the hotel overlooking the ocean, and Eva began talking about all the adventures they had planned.
I want to try surfing. You and surfing? You know we're not in our 20s anymore,
said Eva with a wide smile as she looked at Jack. Jack laughed and said,
No problem. Retirement means we have time to do everything we've never done before, and this is our chance.
The next morning, Jack and Eva headed to Kuta Beach, famous for its surfing. The weather was sunny, and the water looked perfect. As Eva practiced her stand-up paddleboard, Jack watched from afar, enjoying the sight of his wife, who looked like she had returned to her youth. After several failed attempts, she finally managed to stand up on the board and surf the small waves. Her face was lit up with excitement, as if all the years of hard work had vanished in that moment.
I did it, Jack! I did it!
She shouted as she approached him.
I knew you would eventually do it,
Jack replied with a smile.
You've always been determined to achieve your goals.
After their adventure in the water, they decided to continue their exploration of the local culture. They hired a local guide to take them into the heart of Balinese culture. The first trip was to Uluwatu Temple, a legendary temple perched on a cliff overlooking the ocean. They sat there for hours, watching traditional rituals and enjoying the magical sunset. Eva talked to their guide, asking him about the legends of the place and the daily lives of the locals.
The culture here is so rich, everything has its own meaning. I feel like I'm learning something new every moment,
Eva said as she held Jack's hand.
This is what we needed after all these years of work. Something to remind us that there is a bigger world outside our offices and daily routines,
Jack said as he looked out at the ocean. The next day, they decided to venture off the coast, deep into the jungles of Ubud. They rode small motorbikes with their guide, who took them through lush rice fields, passing through small villages where people live in the traditional way. They reached the sacred monkey forest, a forest filled with sacred monkeys that are an important part of the region's culture. As they walked through the forest, a group of monkeys hopped around them, stealing fruit from the hands of other tourists. Eva laughed out loud as she tried to avoid one of the monkeys, who was trying to steal her bag.
It seems retirement isn't as safe as we thought,
she joked.
I guess these monkeys know how to take advantage of tourists,
Jack replied as he tried to shoo one of them away from Eva's hat. Their adventure wasn't just about nature. They also had to taste local Balinese food. At a traditional market in Ubud, their guide invited them to a small workshop on preparing local dishes. Jack and Eva learned how to make nasi goreng and sauté with their own hands. During the workshop, they shared laughs and stories with local chefs.
Food here is not just meals, it's culture and history,
Eva said as she took her first bite of her dish.